So at LM Capital, we have completely revolutionized the way that fundraising is done for high growth startups and funds. And I'm going to break down the exact system in this video. So if you're looking to raise funds in the near future, I highly recommend you watch this because at the end of this video, I promise you, you will understand why this is revolutionary and why this is going to be the future of fundraising. And a lot of the methodologies I'm going to be mentioning in this video are not that well known. This is very blue ocean and it's super, super effective. We already have the case studies to prove this concept. And it solves a basic problem for founders who are looking to raise funds, which is the problem of exhausting your existing network, right? Not having enough warm introductions to actually raise the amount of money that you want to. So we created an automated system to do cold outreach to potential investors and personalizing this at scale. So what some founders will do is that they will, write emails, they will research different, let's say it's a high growth startup, right? They will research a bunch of different venture capital firms and they'll do some outreach to them, right? And they might book a few meetings. But what if you could do that at scale and make it look super personalized and manual at the same time? And that's what we've done. And this works wonders. Now, there are already people who have raised hundreds of millions of dollars just doing manual cold emails. So imagine if you could take that system and just 10x it by automating stuff. That's essentially what we're doing. So the very first thing that you have to do here is essentially create this infrastructure, this automated sending infrastructure. And we use cold email for this purpose. And the reason why we use cold email is because it's the most scalable outreach channel out there. And we put a lot of focus on volume. And the reason why we want to be doing a ton of volume is because not only will that deliver more results, it will also allow for a faster iteration process when it comes to the messaging and the approach to the actual emails that are going to be sent out. These days, sending 100 emails per day can work if you're sitting there doing it manual, right? But if you want to raise exceptionally fast, you want to automate it, you want to do something like we're doing for our clients, which is sending 2,000 to 5,000 emails every single day to potential investors. So what we do is that we essentially have a tech stack that we use, which combines, obviously having all the email accounts we need for the outreach, a sending tool, databases, data enrichment tools, etc., etc. There's a lot of different things that goes into that. And then we build up this large infrastructure. So that is the very first step, is that we want to actually buy a bunch of sending accounts that are going to be doing the outreach, and we are going to use different software stacks to make the outreach work from there. So let's try to do sort of a breakdown of the math here, what it could look like. So if we're sending out 4,000 emails per day, that would be 80,000 emails per month if we're not sending on weekends. If that's a two-step sequence, that would be 40,000 unique contacts per month. Let's say this is being conservative, some of the stuff I'm going to mention here. So let's say a 5% reply rate, so that's 2,000 replies. Let's say 10% of those are positive, so they want more info, they want a pitch deck, they want to hop on a meeting. That's 200 positive replies. Let's say 30% of those positive replies also convert into an actual meeting. That's 60 meetings booked. And let's say 75% of those actually show up and don't end up canceling the meeting. That's 45 meetings completed in a matter of 4 weeks. If you're talking to 45 different investors who have showed initial interest just based off your email copy, it's very, very hard not to raise from one of those, just based off pure statistics and what we've seen in the past. And I'm not saying this exact scenario on the screen here is going to happen. Obviously, we can't promise that. It also depends on how good is the opportunity in a case like this. But what I think this shows is that if you truly do have a good opportunity that you can put in front of investors at scale, then it's almost statistically impossible for to not sort of raise in a very, very fast manner. So I also mentioned the personalization bit. So I want to show a bit about what that can actually look like when you're doing outreach. Because if you're just sending a copy-pasted email to investors, they're not going to feel like there's any exclusivity, right? They know that, oh, okay, so this email was also sent to 100 other firms, right? Like there's nothing special about this opportunity. It's quite open. Everyone gets this email. So that's why you want to have personalization. You want to make it look manual and you want to make it look founder-led. So the way that we do that is that we set up accounts in the name of the founder we're working with, and we personalize it. So one example of AI personalization we did in the top here was essentially name dropping a colleague of the person that we reached out to, right? Seems very manual. Most people have no idea you can automate this. And in the one below it, we were able to name drop a company from their portfolio that was quite similar to our client in this case. And again, seems super, super researched, and a lot of people have no idea that you can actually do this. So if you take that manual and authentic founder-led outreach approach that investors actually seem to love, right? They love like founders who are very dedicated, reaching out to different VC firms manually if it's a high growth startup. And if you can do that at scale, you can probably see how this works, like how how it's adding up now, and how this is actually super, super effective at scale. Another big part that goes into this is also email deliverability. Now, if you're unfamiliar with email deliverability, it's essentially your ability to land in the primary inbox and not in the spam folder at scale. So maybe you've seen a lot of different marketing emails, etc., in your spam inbox, and that's because they have not actually fixed their email deliverability. It is quite technical. It's one of the things that makes cold email a quite technical channel, and also why it's quite hard for founders to automate this on their own. There's a lot of technical stuff that goes into it behind the scenes. So this is something we take complete care of. I'm not going to go too much into detail here, but once we have that infrastructure set up, we find the data, the contact information on different investors we want to contact. This is something we do on your behalf. We have access to all the major databases like PitchBook, Preqin, etc. So we have the data. We have personalized data points as well to make it look very manual, and then we have good systems in place for optimizing email deliverability, making sure we're landing in the primary inbox of investors. And once investors see an opportunity in their primary inbox and it's genuinely interesting for them, they are going to be curious. Like this whole narrative that, investors don't respond to cold outreach, venture capitalists don't care, institutional investors are never going to read their inbox and consider investment opportunities that are from cold outreach. Not true. And we have tons of evidence to prove that. If it's a good opportunity, human curiosity that's just very natural and inherent in us will take over, and they will hop on a call if they find it interesting. So this is essentially a bulletproof system. It's extremely effective, and if you would be interested to see exactly how we would execute this on your behalf and how it would work, if you were to work with us, we are more than happy to explain. Below, you will be able to book in a consultation with our founder, Liebman, and he will walk you through exactly how this works, how it could work for you, and so on. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.